It's a beautiful morning to be planting again. It's not as windy as yesterday, that's good. And if you remember the previous video, those bars did not look like that. And the reason why they're looking like that is because the cotton seed that we're planting, all the seed is variation in size, so sometimes you'll plant 2 seeds where you should do 1, so that's why you see that yellow bar. It's planting more than usual, and if it's below, it's planting less than usual. And I mean, it's fine, it's no big deal really, but it's just, it'll go up and down like crazy because the seed's not all the same size. So that's what that is. It's nice if they're all kind of like sitting there in the middle, all the black bars, just like they're like, it's like perfect population, but it's fine. Would you just look at that view though? And empty on seed. I finished 65 acres and I'm out of seed. I can only hold enough seed for 65 acres, especially when you're doing, which we're now doing 74,000 seeds per acre versus yesterday we were doing 77,000. So with this many seeds per acre, yeah, you cannot cover very many. It would be nice to have a bigger box, but if we would get those planters that have the boxes in the middle, the big box in the middle, it wouldn't really work because we have the second boxes back there for the hydrohume, so it wouldn't work. Well, maybe. I think they make some planters that have the boxes back there with the big boxes in the middle, but we got these planters and we like them. Anyways, time to fill up some more seed. Seed is loaded, now just to fill up some fertilizer. We're loaded and off again. One main reason why we do circle track is because out here in this area, the edges of the field, there's not really a nice exit that you can have. Kind of got one entrance point into the field and there's not really good exit points, because there's big drop-offs everywhere and it's a very big hassle to deal with. So circle track is just very easy and simple, especially for harvesting. Spraying also makes it a whole lot easy, so we like to do circle track. Lining myself up. And then I gotta back up to where I gotta start planting. Turning on my fertilizer. And then we're good. Covering quite a few acres already. Got this whole middle section done. I just need these last 2 towers right here. And it's kind of hard to believe, but the inner portion of this circle is 60 acres, and this last little sliver that I gotta do, that's also 60 acres. Pretty crazy. So, a little bit about our planter setup, if you're wondering. We have a 300-gallon tank up front We have a hose leading from the front. It goes like underneath the tractor here, then goes all the way to the back, and then it goes to this pressure gauge right here. Then I can see how much pressure there is, and that's how I regulate how much fertilizer or starter fertilizer is going out. We have back boxes. The back boxes are hydrohume, and the front boxes are our seed or our cotton. And you might be wondering why we don't have a different planter with the big box as well. Like this, it works out pretty good. We can fold up in tight areas. The seed itself lasts, depending on how big the seed, but right now it's lasting about 60 acres for one box of seed. The back boxes, the hydrohume, also lasts about 60 acres. And then the front tank also lasts about 60 acres. So it all kind of evens itself out. We just fill up twice per field for the fuel, or for the liquid fertilizer. Then we fill up twice, once for the seed, and then, so we can all fill up at the same time. So it all empties out at the same time. Once you're empty on neither one of them, then you can just go and refill. It would be nice to get one of those planters with the big boxes in the middle, but I think we'd still have to get the planter that each row unit still has that back box where we can use hydrogen. And it does sound like, doesn't sound like a lot when you say you fill up the entire planter and you can only cover 60 acres. You hear all these other people that are doing like hundreds of acres with one fill up. That would be nice, but with cotton it usually doesn't really work. But anyways, with peanuts, it's even a bigger story, because the peanut seeds are even way bigger. And with peanuts, you can do 2 rounds and you're empty, and you gotta refill. The fertilizer and the hydrohume still stays the same. That still lasts for 60 acres, but the seed itself, it only lasts for 2 rounds. So it's not a whole lot. Peanuts, you cannot have the planters with the box in there, because the big box planters, they bring the seed to each row unit with air, and that breaks the seed of the peanut, and you don't get any germination. The peanuts, they don't grow. So if you're ever gonna plant peanuts, you have to have a planter like this, or else you just wouldn't be able to plant peanuts. And that's why we also keep these planters, because then we can plant both. We can plant cotton and peanuts. But because this farm is so far away from our other main farm, that it would be nice to have just one planter out here that has one big box, then we would never have to transfer. We have to take our semi, we have to haul our planters back and forth. It's kind of a hassle, but we make do with it. Like I said, it would be nice to have one big planter like that here. 24 row would be nice. Then it would match perfectly with the 6-row picker and an 8-row cotton stripper. So that part would be nice. You could fill up a lot of seed. You could probably cover a lot more acres. I mean, I wouldn't mind if, you know, John Deere would want to let me demo one with a new 8RX 410. Just saying, that would be kind of cool. I would not hesitate. I would not mind. I'd be a pretty big fan of that. It seems like everyone else gets to demo one. Where's mine? I want to demo one, but whatever. But we're just planting. We already covered, what is it? We did 1 half-miler over there, that's 480 acres. Then there's one 12 tower, is it? I think it's more than 240 acres. I think it's like 280, I think is what it is. And then we did 110 tower, but it was only a half a circle, so that's 120 acres. And then now we're just finishing up on 220 acre fields. The other planter is on that field right there. He's finishing those 120 acres, and I'm finishing these 120 acres. Once we're done here, which I got 87 out of 120 acres done. So I need 33 more acres, and then I'm done here. And then we'll move over to those fields right there. There's one there and one there. It's kind of all close together, so it's really nice. So we're gonna move over right there, plant those 120 acres. Each planter can do about 240 acres a day on a good day. If you start early in the morning, you finish in the evening. On a really good day, you can finish a whole lot more than that. That's why I think yesterday each planter didn't do 240 acres. Yesterday I think we did a little bit less because this tractor was broken down for half the day. It had that pin broke off in the front. So this tractor was down for quite a long time, so we didn't quite end up finishing 480 acres in one day. But today I think it should be no problem because it's only 11 o'clock and I need 30 more acres here. So it could be doable. Right now we're actually planting seed block. We're planting, if you see on my little iPad here, Next Gen 3195. That's what we're planting. Planting at about 74,000 seeds per acre. We're doing majority Delta Pine this year. Last year we did majority Phytogen, and Phytogen is resistant to 2,4-D. So this year we're doing Delta Pine and Next Gen. That way whenever we spray for weeds, we can kill off all the voluntary cotton with dicamba, which Phytogen cotton is not resistant to dicamba, so we can kill off all the old existing cotton so we don't get any cross contamination with seed block and stuff like that. We can kill off all the old cotton, have no, so anyways, it makes it a whole lot easier. We've had, the first year we had lots of voluntary cotton. It almost looked solid, that's how much cotton there was. So like this, you spray over it once, all the voluntary cotton dies. It's nice, I love it. But as far as what variety works the best out here, we're doing a little bit of all varieties. There's, well, this year we're doing majority Delta Pine, but there's like 5 or 6 varieties that we do. So that's another reason why our cotton seed comes in bags. You see a lot of other farmers, they have their seed in big boxes. We wouldn't be able to do that very nicely or very easily because we switch varieties a lot more and you kind of want to empty it out completely. And with bags, it's a whole lot easier to fill up because with the big totes, you need a seed tender or something with a conveyor to load it in here. And it's just easier with bags. Yeah, it's a hassle to have the empty bags that you gotta throw away, burn, or whatever. But bags are nice. You can fill up each row unit. Each unit can hold about, depending on how big the seed is, of course, about, it can hold for sure a bag of seed and then a little bit more. Whenever we just barely filled up, I could fit a bag and a half in one box. So quite a bit of seed can fit into one of those boxes. And I'm just getting back here to the pivot. Once I get close here, then I'll lift up. We planted 3 times or 3 passes straight like this to where we can turn around right here. So I'm just going to turn around now. Definitely don't want to hit the pivot. GPS. Once I get straight again, then I'll just back up to where I need to be. Can't forget to turn on my fertilizer. And planting. Another thing that I really like about Circle Track is you don't have to turn around near as often as you would whenever you have just with the rows. So with the rows you got to turn around way more frequently. Now we just go all the way around, turn around a few times. I'm almost done though. Like I need 30 more acres. Well look, there's only 4 more lines. Well 5 if you count this one. But 2 more rounds and I'm done. So it's not a lot. 2 rounds is 30 acres, which it's pretty crazy. That little tank right there, if you're wondering what that is, that's just water. If you need to wash your hands or to rinse out certain jugs for the fertilizer that we put in here. The fertilizer, I'm not actually quite sure what the fertilizer is. Might be Black Label. I'm not. That has some sort of name. I forgot. So I think it was just starter fertilizer, and then we put imidacloprid. We put that stuff in there. What that is, that just helps for insects to not eat the seed while the seed itself is trying to grow, because you don't want insects to be eating your seed, then you don't have a crop. And then we're also putting a little bit of what's called Abound, because there is a couple of cold nights coming, and we're planting in a little bit colder weather. Abound is going to help to protect the seed from the cold. So that's just what we're putting in there with the starter fertilizer. Normally for a starter fertilizer, we would put it right there by that V, right after the seed, so the fertilizer will be on top of the seed. But this year we made a modification to our planter, and we now have a little nozzle right after the closing wheels, and that just sprays it. It broadcasts it right on top of the bed where the seed would normally be. So then whenever we water it in, the fertilizer is going to get down and get to the seed. So people say that works a whole lot better, because if the seed gets direct contact with the fertilizer, the seed can actually die. So you don't really want that. So we're trying it out this year. We've always done just in the V. That's where the first starter fertilizer goes, but now we're doing it like this. We'll see how we like it. We still have the old stuff on there, so if we ever want to, there's hoses on this front bar right here. You can just switch it out. You take a hose out and put the other hose in, and then you can do either in the V or you can broadcast it on the top. So you can pick and choose however you want. But these planters, they are quite old. I'm not 100% sure what kind of planters they are. It says 1720 on the bar, so I'm assuming that has something to do with it. But these are quite old planters already. I don't think these planters came with 36-inch row spacing, because we had a custom manufacturer extend it a little bit to where we could have 16 rows exactly on 36-inch row spacing. And that's why we are able to pass each other whenever we're planting side by side. That's why we're able to pass each other, because it is extended. That unit is all the way at the end of that bar, so the bar is not extending, so we can pass each other as we please. So that part's nice. You never have to worry about hitting each other, as long as you're both on the 16 rows. If one person is off by one row, you'd have a big issue there. You don't want that. Never had it happen before, but I don't want to find out what happens if all of a sudden you have a nice collision. It's always pretty cool though when you plant side by side. You have just 32 rows. It's very, very satisfying. I love the look of it. All right, that's gonna be it for this video. I'm just gonna be planting here all day. I don't know if anything interesting is gonna happen. I don't think so, but planting cottonseed, not much else to it. Do appreciate y'all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Oh, I forgot. We're going 5 miles an hour, if anyone was wondering. Right, I know I ended the video, but I know a lot of you are gonna have questions. This is the cottonseed we're planting. Why is it blue? That's just a seed treatment. That is all.